Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and it's time to speak about a lovely aspect which is taking place on the 27th of June. Venus will enter the sign of Leo. Now, this video will help you to interpret your own natal placement if you have got Venus in the sign of Leo, as well as it might help you to grasp a little bit more about the transit Venus in this sign as well. So I hope you will enjoy this video, and if you do so, press like, ring the notification bell, share it with others, all those lovely things, and also comment in the chat box as well how your Venus is playing out for you in Leo. So when you want to be interpreting Venus in the sign of Leo, firstly, you need to think about what Venus wants and how she behaves when she is a guest in another sign. Because Venus rules two signs, which are Taurus and Libra. So of course, Leo is not necessarily a sign where she has got so much of a dignity. So we need to examine what actually Venus wants to accomplish at any time. So Venus always wants to harmonize things. She is kind of like a matchmaker. It has got kind of an urge to form a relationship. So Leo is all about sexuality and being in the central stage. So especially those people who are single, this could be a brilliant of time to actually become flirtatious, or even to change your personal style as well, buying some new dresses. It's summer here, we might want to be losing weight because we want to be looking brilliant. We want all the attention coming onto us on the beach and so forth. Venus wants to cooperate with others. So Leo is actually a business sign. It talks about self-employment. So it might be about you wanting to actually collaborate with someone to boost some of your business transactions. That's also very possible with this transit. Venus wants to bring beauty and harmony into our lives. So Leo is the sign of such as holidays and pleasure and self-expression and becoming who we really are. Right? So Venus in Leo could actually mean that we want to go on a holiday, for instance, or we just want to be surrounded by like-minded people just to have fun, pleasure, going to parties, theater, anything which is stage related, right? Such as concerts. Venus loves doing all those type of things. The primary indication of Venus that she always wants to be attractive. So we're talking about a goddess of love who was Aphrodite, and Aphrodite is always depicted in a very light dress, which is a little bit of see-through as well. And she was so charming that no one can really resist falling in love with her. So that Venus quality is definitely emphasizing the sign of Leo, which is all about vanity. So Leo wants to be shining the most, wants to be the best version of itself. So Venus definitely gets that boost here. So maybe it's a brilliant time to go and be playful, have a kind of a I don't know, makeup. I'm going to be having pedicure, manicure. I'm going to be spending money. And remember, Leo is extremely generous. So Venus is your spending habits. So that's also very possible that you're going to be spending quite loads of money on yourself. But it's because you want to be boosting your self-confidence. So Venus wants everything which surrounds her to be very pretty and to be kind of clean as well. So Venus is associated with cleanliness to a certain extent, but it's more about the symmetry, the beauty part of things, so that things look pretty. So depending on where Leo cusp is in your chart, but you might actually spend money on making your surrounding beautiful. Venus' downside is that it tends to be comparing herself with others. Now, of course, in the sign of Leo, Venus can be sometimes a little bit judgmental, looking down on people, oh, because I've got the bestest dress, for instance, or my makeup is better than yours, and so forth. But it's coming sometimes from a little bit of an insecurity, especially if I don't get enough attention from people I love. Venus talks about your personal style, your taste, what you like and what you don't like. So Venus in the sign of Leo definitely will like anything which is fun, anything which is kind of like dancing on the stage with a couple of people, jumping up and down, enjoying life to the fullest. So Venus wants to create pleasure. And as I mentioned, the placement of your sun is going to be very important because Venus will be dependent and reliant on the position of the sun, because the sun is kind of, the Leo is the temple of the sun, right? So if you want to get more information about your Venusian energies, you must look at where the sun is. So for instance, you might have got Venus in the sign of Leo, but maybe that sun is going to be in Pisces, which is a little bit more of a modest type of energy. And Pisces might be hiding its own beauty. So it's not going to be that extravagant, really. Right? But imagine, for instance, Venus being the planet of matchmaking. So this could really talk about things like, let's say you go to a party and then you really want your friends to be, for instance, having a partner. So you might be the one actually who is going to be chatting people up for your friends or for someone who is single and so forth. Right? But also, if you are single, this is a brilliant time to actually kind of look for a partner. Probably you become a little bit more flirtatious. I tend to be calling Venus in the sign of Leo as a bridge builder. But a bridge builder who is going to be, let's say, playing music in the park, and then all of a sudden people are kind of like getting around and they enjoy your company. So it's not like Mercury who's going to be passed on a phone number to another person like, oh, here is my carpenter, he is brilliant, here is the business card if you want to try him out. So Venus is more about attracting like-minded people. So in the sign of Leo, it is a very good period of time to get to know someone at fun places, on the beach, theater, cinema, movies, you know, concerts, whatever type of fun you can actually imagine. Sun and Venus in Leo is actually very good at guiding people, linking people up. So that's where the matchmaking element comes. But Venus is always looking for balance, harmony, and beauty. And Venus in Leo might be telling you that you need to somehow get out of your comfort zone as well. And not just making yourself beautiful, but help others to be beautiful as well. So bringing like-minded people together. Venus in Leo definitely wants to be liked. And sometimes she tends to spend way too much time on pleasing others. So there is an element of people pleasing here as well. Again, why? Because I want those people to pay attention to me. Venus in Leo, even though the ego is very boosted here, but an afflicted Venus might be talking about the fact that you have to learn about self-love. Interestingly enough, Venus in Leo tends to bring some type of unconventional relationships as well. So there is kind of like, because Leo is not, it's a relationship sign, don't get me wrong, but it talks about the me. So Venus definitely needs to learn here to kind of have that balance with the partner, giving attention as much as we are craving for that attention, okay? So as I mentioned, you must look at where Sun is in your chart to get more clarity on that. Now, because when Venus will ingress into the sign of Leo, the Sun will be in the sign of Cancer. So Venus will have plenty of Cancerian traits to it as well, because once we start thinking about what Cancer talks about, right, it's all about getting in touch with your emotions, looking at the past. So actually this Venus in Leo could bring up something onto the surface like, when I was younger, I was more beautiful. What has happened? So that's the way how the vanity can kind of kick in. Or Sun in Cancer focuses a lot on the family. So maybe I want to be going on a family vacation, for instance. That's how we can bring the two together. Of course, the Sun very much talks about your life mission. And the life mission of the Sun in Cancer is all about helping others to get in touch with their heritage. So Venus in Leo can be quite generous in that sense, and you might bring out your helpful nature, especially if your sun sign natally is in a helpful sign as well, such as Virgo, Pisces, even Cancer, and so forth. The Sun in Cancer very much talks about not being a slave to your past. So meaning that this Venus in Leo might want to break away from some past issues by overcompensating and going out a lot and socializing and so forth. Sun in Cancer is all about guiding people through emotional conflicts. So what this Venus in Leo might do is that, okay, let's go out and let's cheer up our friend because she is going through a rough patch, for instance. And of course, Sun in Cancer wants to become a parent. So Venus in Leo, which is a very sexual sign, could possibly mean pregnancy as well, or at least I start thinking about, what if I had a child? Would I be a good mom? Would I be not so much of a good mom? So when Venus is in Leo and Sun is in Cancer, kind of like there is that debate of me becoming a mom and becoming a lover. So which one am I? So how am I going to balance out the two things? So from a traditional perspective, you must remember that Venus is actually weak in the sign of Leo. Why is that? Venus is a cold and wet planet, and Leo is a hot and dry, so hot and dry energy. So that's completely clashing, nothing in common. So actually, from a traditional perspective, Venus is very weak and it can bring out its kind of, well, negative influence, which I don't completely agree with, to be honest, though, because at the end of the day, planets have got, you know, it's just all about how they want to be expressing themselves. Okay, another reason why I don't necessarily agree with Venus being so bad in the sign of Leo, because even though we shouldn't be mixing the houses and the signs together, but Venus planetary joy is actually in the 5th house. Now, why is that? Because basically Venus is the planet of pleasure and the 5th house is all about self-expression. So I can express truly who I want to become. And I have got the ability to express my own beauty as well. And 5th house is, of course, also about romance and dating. And that's the primary focus of Venus, forming some type of relationships. Now, Venus in the 5th house is actually creating a grand trine with the 1st and the 9th house. And the favorite placement of Sun is the 9th house. So this is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily agree with that Sun and Venus don't necessarily get along so much, because actually from a planetary joy perspective, it does talk about a grand trine between Sun, rising sign, and Venus. Now, if you think about what it might indicate, it pretty much talks about a blessing kind of thrown onto you from the divine power, pouring from the god downwards. So Venus in Leo kind of gives an element of manifestation as well, because it has got that optimistic nature. So Venus is the minor benefic planet, even though it has no such dignity, strong dignities in the sign of Leo, unless you have got Venus somewhere between 13 to 19 degree of Leo. That's when Venus has got a little bit of a strength by turn. Other than that, she is considered quite weak. So I feel like we're going to hear on a collective level news about holiday matters, especially when Venus is going to be hitting that 13 degree of Leo, which is going to be happening somewhere around the 10th of July on top of my head. Okay. Now, this Venus in Leo is definitely very much drawn to some type of artistic matters. It can sometimes act like a drama queen, so we do need to be paying attention to that as well. And of course, Venus at the beginning of the sign will be still a little bit emotional, because Venus, I would say in the first 3 days, is going to have to kind of adjust and shake off some emotional overload, which of course she had while she was in the sign of Cancer. So Venus in Leo will be attracted to romance and museums and colors, shapes and forms. And this Leo energy is all about the light. It's all about liveliness. So Venus wants to be in the spotlight. So probably some concerts will be happening, for instance, or maybe in more countries, theaters are going to be opening up. Maybe there is going to be these freestyle theaters where maybe you're sitting in a park and then you're going to be looking at all those type of shows and so forth. I pretty much can imagine that. With Venus in Leo, I recommend kind of looking at the self-pampering. That could really go a long way. But also the downfall of this is that your pride can bruise easily. Now, Venus rules the 3rd and the 10th house from the Leo sign. So definitely some of you will be experiencing some opportunities in your career. And of course, the 3rd house is very much about the local community communication, but we pretty much spoken about that already by the socializing element of Venus. Now, from a 10th house perspective, maybe this Venus in Leo can be a brilliant time to, for instance, think about business opportunities, how I can make money, because Venus also rules over money, right? And Leo is an entrepreneur sign. So Venus tends to be a lot stronger when it's not combusted, and Venus is actually quite out of the picture from the sun. They are at least almost 30 degrees apart. So that's very, very good for us. Now, the Leo is actually the king of the jungle, and Venus is a kind of like a lover and a girlfriend energy. So don't be shocked if men are a lot more like a hunting spirit. So you walking in the park, whistling after you, telling you, you know, lovely stuff, wanting to be chatting you up, but also you might become, as a woman, very flirtatious as well. So Venus definitely wants to be entertaining in the sign of Leo. Now, the darker side of this might be, as I said, something to do with the vanity, because Leo at the end of the day is the sign of youth, the fame. So I want to be famous. I want to be young again. So that's where the energy might be coming from. Like, I want to be spending a lot more on beauty products, or something which is controlling the aging and so forth. So that's also very, very possible. Okay, so, and then let's just have a look at this Venus in from a mundane perspective. The mundane means actually that something to do with the collective level, so how we might experience Venus in the world. So Venus in mundane astrology signifies anything which is pleasant and enjoyable. So the entertainment industry, music, any type of social pleasures. So it definitely talks about some type of bars opening up. Maybe there is going to be rules changing around that. But Venus is also the planet of diplomacy as well, and some type of celebration, especially in the sign of Leo. So there might be more parties on the horizon, but also there could be some type of governmental figures, for instance, kind of trying to make a peace. which with Leo, it's not actually that easy. But it's possible. It's highlighting the opportunities, especially if the two countries are somehow having some soft aspects towards each other. So there is some element of involvement in regards to negotiations between parties, which could actually lead to peace. Now, Venus rules over fashion, glamour, any type of feminine and masculine products as well, really. So there is that aesthetics type of energy to it. So maybe with this Venus in Leo, there is going to be a new fashion trend, which is emerging. So those who are fashion gurus and interested in fashion, please let me know. Maybe actually a new fashion magazine will be appearing on the horizon, because Venus rules the third house from Leo, as I said. Now, Venus is actually connected to the national resources and finances through banking, financial institution, and farming as well. So actually, this could talk about some beneficial type of things in the financial markets, right? So also worth having a look. However, we still have got the Saturn-Uranus square going on and so forth. So I'm not that optimistic in that department, but possible. And also Venus in Leo could really talk about courtship and marriage as well. So maybe there is going to be a possibility to celebrate marriage again in kind of like a proper way. So this is my interpretation for you for Venus in Leo. I hope you have enjoyed it. And then if you did so, then don't forget to give the channel some love. Yes, so thank you and have a blessed week, everyone. Bye-bye.